And Mr. Tillman, there's a charge of possession or consumption of alcohol in public for you. I believe you have an offer in the file from the prosecutor, which is exactly the same as the other folks that I've been describing to this, who are over 21 and have an open container, a possession of alcohol charge. Prosecutors are willing to dismiss the charge if you write a handwritten 250-word essay about what you've learned from this experience. So that's the option. You may have heard me describe it to others. Do you understand what that option is? What would you like to do?
I'll take that offer.
Accept that offer. So that really just entails us giving you another court date. You'll be expected to have that essay done, submit it to the prosecutors. Mr. Reynolds, I think I was observing you. You're just sending emails to people. Is that what you're doing?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're going to just send you out front. Clerk's going to get you a court date 2 to 3 weeks out. We won't necessarily need to see you back in court if, in fact, your case has been dismissed before that court date. So that's how you'll know you don't need to come back, is you'll get an order of dismissal from me. So I'll just ask you to check with Leslie, make sure she's got a good email address for you. And then if you'll go out front, they'll give you that court date. I'm going to make it Zoom eligible. So if you do need to appear, you could appear by Zoom.
Sounds good.
Any questions for me? All right, check with Leslie and then out to the front counter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ring T0.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maria Hernandez Vega. I have a couple that have checked in late that I don't have space sheets. That's cute. Good morning.
Smart.
How are you today?
I'm sleeping.
Sleepy, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working a lot. I'm just tired.
Okay. I'm going to pull up your case, Ms. Hernandez Vega.
Thank you.
The charge for you is subjecting animals to unnecessary suffering, which is a violation of section 616 of the Boulder Revised Code. I don't have a plea bargain offer from the prosecutor in the file, but you could certainly have a conversation with one of them about the case. Would you like to do that?
Of course.
Okay. And that'll be with Mr. Reynolds, so if you'll go with him, we'll see you back after you've had the conversation.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What is your name, please?
McHugh.
Okay, did you check in with the front end?
I did, but it said, she just said checking in with the board and said it.
Okay, okay,
But
thank you. I think we have some.
And Nate, what did you say the last name?
McHugh.
Hugh?
He did not check in at the counter. It sounds like he checked it down the hall.
Ah, okay.
Mine sent me a text like yesterday, just saying to come here.
How do you spell your last name, sir?
MC capital HUGH.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McHugh.
Right now.
And why don't you come on forward, Mr. McHugh? So, sir, the charge for you is a charge of having a fraudulent ID or a fake ID, and then a second charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol. So you have two charges that are pending. I do have an offer from the prosecutor. They've offered what's called a deferred judgment to those two charges. You've probably heard me discuss that with others.
Yeah, and I also spoke with the CU student, or the student-led lawyer there, so.
Oh, you were there for
Yeah,
discussion with
I
him?
talked to him, so.
Okay, because you are expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice Program, so I'm glad you heard a little bit about that. You'd also be expected to complete the CU Community Living class, and then have a substance use screen and follow through with whatever class is ordered in connection with that. Were you aware of those three terms?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so those are the terms that would be part of the deferred judgment. You'd have $155 in fees to pay the court for the deferred judgment. As you've probably heard, at the end of the 9 months, if you completed the condition satisfactorily, also with no other criminal violations, then your case could be dismissed and your record would be sealed. Have you decided whether you'd like to accept
Yeah,
that?
I would accept that.
Do you have any questions before we go
I
forward?
do not.
You've heard me ask these questions of others, so I'm going to ask the same questions of you. When you plead guilty to these two charges, you're giving up your right to trial on those charges. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Do you understand the charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol?
I do.
Do you agree that there's evidence to support that charge? Do you understand the charge of having a fraudulent identification?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree that there's evidence to support that charge?
I do.
You're doing this all without the benefit of a lawyer. You understand that you could hire a lawyer or I could appoint one if you couldn't afford one?
I do.
Are you comfortable going forward without counsel?
I am.
And you know that criminal law could be complicated, that a lawyer can do a better job certainly of representing you than you might do representing yourself?
I do.
You're a CU student, so I'm finding that you do have the ability to understand. Is that fair? Okay. Let me go ahead and accept the guilty pleas. Count one is a charge of being a minor in possession of alcohol in violation of section 574 of the Boulder Revised Code. That allegedly occurred on August 15th of 2025 at 1149 13th Street. How do you plead to that charge? I'll accept that guilty plea. Count two is a charge of having a fraudulent identification, which is a violation of section 5612 of the Boulder Revised Code from that same date, time, and location. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept those two guilty pleas. We'll place you on the deferred judgment for the 9-month term. You will be expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice program, the community living class, and then we'll have you meet with our probation officer to go over the alcohol education program that she would like you to complete. I want to make a couple of comments for you. And I should have made it with the other, well, the reason it kind of spurred me to think about it is the fake ID charge. We just had a meeting with some folks about fake IDs, and one of the folks from the police department shared with me that there have been 1,400 IDs just this year in 2025 that have been captured either through alcohol establishments or through officers who are capturing these when they see people who don't have a proper identification. That's a lot. That's a big number. What it suggests to me, having done this for almost 25 years, is that there's an increase in young people who are using fake IDs. I was in college at one point and your age, and I understand that people want to have the access to going to bars or to be able to get alcohol. What people your age don't perhaps fully appreciate is your brain isn't fully developed yet. You're pretty smart. You're obviously in college, so you're smart. But there are parts of your brain that haven't developed. That part that says, I'm going to stop and think and make a better decision, that's actually not fully developed.
I'm sure.
And so we want you to make better decisions, because what can happen, and the reason that we have this rule about age, is that we want people to know when they've had too much, or when they're in a position where they're making bad decisions surrounding driving, or they're getting into conflicts and they're not able to negotiate those conflicts without turning violent. Those are all the concerns that we have, on top of the concern that I always have, which is that a young person will come to the university, have all this future ahead of them, and then they'll fall into this use of alcohol or substances, and it'll ruin that future for them. It's a big concern for me because I watched it happen to friends when I was in college at this very campus, people I still am in touch with who never got through their first year. And it's sad for me to see that. But in my dorm, I can think of 2 or 3 guys that I'm still in touch with who never graduated college, never got through their first year of college. Doesn't mean they didn't have okay lives, but it can very much impact those lives. So I want you to be thinking about that. And then the other thing I want to share with you, I would be sharing this to the group, and I will later today when I'm talking to people who have MIPs. These fake IDs, the officers know you have more than one of them. Generally, the people who are making these fake IDs are sending you a packet of fake IDs. Understand that if you have another one, you should be getting rid of them, because if you get caught again, it'll be a different circumstance. The response from the government, from the prosecutor's office, will be much different. So I want you to be thinking about that too. All right. Any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to send you to meet with our probation officer. She's going to go over all this. The good news is you do what you're expected to do by the deadlines that we set for you. Your case is going to be dismissed. Your record's going to be sealed. All right. So take 2 rights and a left to the end of the hallway, and that'll take you to the probation area.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. McHugh.
Your Honor, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So the last person here, it's actually a traffic He got his month wrong.
You can see it driving.
Okay, perfect. It's already an FCE, so.
Oh, great, okay.
Oh,
Where is the
it
case?
is citation TE.
While you guys are pulling that up, let's go ahead and recall, I believe it's Mr. Toller. Do I have that correct?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, Mr. Toller, if you'll come back forward. Go ahead, Dara.
Your Honor, Mr. Toller and I discussed a deferred judgment that's on file from the city attorneys for an obstruction of government operations charge, and he would like to enter into that agreement.
All right, thank you for that, Dara. Let me go over this with you, Mr. Toller, so we make a good record of what the option is. And this is what I typically see them do when there's an obstructing government operations charge. That's why they wanted you to come here, because they can't simply dismiss those outright. They have to have the deferred judgment or do something a little bit different than what might be offered at the typical community court session. But in this case, the expectation would be that you complete 5 housing-related tasks, and you would be working with Dara to complete those housing-related tasks. The good news is that your case would be dismissed at the end of the period of the deferred judgment, which would be 6 months from now. You'd have to go through that 6 months without any other criminal charges involving obstructing government operations. So when they do come through and say, hey, you got to move your tent, or they put something on your tent that says you've got to move your campsite within 72 hours, you're going to have to make sure you move it. Otherwise, you could get another charge. Does that make sense to you? All right. But if you comply, you get those 5 housing-related tasks completed, and you go through this 6 months without any other similar charges, then at the end of 6 months, we're going to withdraw the guilty plea that you entered today, dismiss your case, and we'll seal your record. Does that all make sense to you?
It does.
And I am going to waive costs based on your financial circumstances, so we don't have any fees to pay the court. Any questions before I make this an order of the court?
It would be a plea of no contest, correct?
I'll accept a no contest plea, yes. I want to make sure you understand what that means, but it basically means that you're choosing not to contest the case and that you're still agreeing to have the court impose the deferred judgment on you in this particular case. Does that make sense to you? Okay. When you plead no contest, you're giving up your right to trial and all the other rights that I've previously described to the group. Do you understand that? I'll need you to answer out loud just so I have a record.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you to plead no contest? Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol?
No.
And do you understand these 2 charges? I'll start with the charge of obstructing government operations. Do you understand that
Yes.
charge? Do you agree that there's evidence to support that charge?
I was literally packing up my tent as it was given to me, but yes, I understand it.
Okay, so I think you, at least the prosecution might be able to prove that. We're not going to decide that today because we don't have evidence
Sure.
fully put on. Okay, I'm going to find that there's a factual basis for that charge. And the other charge is having a tent or a net. Do you understand that charge? And do you agree that there's evidence to support that charge? As I mentioned, you have the right to have counsel. Criminal law can be complicated. If you wanted to hire counsel, or I can appoint the public defender. Given your financial circumstances, you would be eligible for public defender representation. Are you comfortable going forward without the benefit of a lawyer?
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that.
All right. If not, I could continue the case over. We could reset you to meet with our public defender. It would be about 2 weeks from now. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that.
You'd have to come back, but it's certainly okay with me if you wanted to. We'd have you fill out a quick application, probably take you 5 minutes to do that. I'm not trying to talk you into that if you wanted to see counsel, you would do that.
No, I think doing the 5 things was not that.
That's fine.
Go ahead and do that.
Okay, so as long as you're comfortable moving forward without counsel, I want to just make sure that you understand you had that right. And did you graduate high school or obtain a GED? So you understand the rights that you're giving up here today. I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty to these 2 charges. Nick, if you don't mind pulling up the citation for me. The count 1 is a charge of obstructing government operations, which is a violation of section 551 of the Boulder Revised Code. This allegedly occurred March 15th of 2000. Is that a March or it must have been August 15th. Yeah, August 15th of 2025 at 1001 Arapahoe. How do you plead to that charge?
No contest.
I'll accept the no contest plea. Count 2 is a charge of having a prohibited item in violation of section 8321 of the Boulder Revised Code from that same date, time, and location.
Also no contest.
All right, I'll accept the no contest plea to that. I am going to waive the deferred judgment fees. Actually, I'm going to do this on the other side. Any questions for me? All right, so I'm going to send you to be with our probation officer. This will be a fairly brief meeting. Dara is the person who will be kind of maintaining track of the 5 housing related tasks, but you're going to meet with our probation officer because she's the person that will actually dismiss your case at the end of the 9 months and seal your record. So I want to make sure she's had contact with you. They'll take 2 rights and a left to the end of the hallway to meet with Fernanda. She'll go over this deferred judgment with you, obtain your signature on it. It'll have my signature on it as well. So you have a copy of the order that shows what you've agreed to today.
Very well.
All right, any questions at this point? Now, if you'll make your way down to probation, thank you. And then Nick, the gentleman, I believe is here on the traffic case.
Right here.
Sir, why don't you come on forward?
Leslie just brought it down to this.
Good morning. You're Mr. Wethley?
Yes, I
All right, good morning to you, Mr. Wethley. Let me take a quick look at what we've got here. Did we obtain insurance information yet?
Yes.
So we've dismissed that form? Great. So it leaves just one charge for you. It's a charge of failing to stop at a stop sign. That's the allegation. So let me tell you a little bit about what your options are here today. That charge is a 4-point traffic infraction. On traffic cases, our prosecutors have standard plea bargain options that are available. One option for you would be to reduce that to a 2-point charge. There would just be a fine. They also have the option of reducing it to a 1-point charge. If you chose that option, there would be a fine and you'd be expected to complete a level 1 traffic class. It's an online class. It takes about 2 to 4 hours to complete, and the people that put the class on will charge you a $60 fee. So your total cost would be a little bit higher because you've earned the dismiss or the reduction from 4 points to 1 point. I do take into account the fees that you pay for the class, but it ends up being about $30 or $40 more than it would be if you just did the 2-point reduction. Those are 2 options. You also have the option of speaking with the prosecutor this morning. So if you'd like to discuss the case with one of them, they're both meeting with someone else right now, but they'd be available to talk to you as well. And of course, you could always set that charge for trial if you wanted to contest the charge.
Yes, I would like to go with the 1 point. option.
1 point with the class?
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, I believe that having more points would catch up to me in the long run, insurance wise.
Certainly, well, on a lot of levels, right? Insurance might be impactful for you. And of course, you're allowed only 11 points in 1 year. The 12th point could result in suspension of your privilege. So if you decided you want to take the 1 point charge, that's fine. The charge that you were originally facing, the failing to stop at a stop sign, will be dismissed in exchange for your guilty plea to a 1 point charge, which will be called driving with a defective headlamp. That is not what you did, but that's how the points can be reduced.
Understood.
That's a violation of section 732 of the Boulder Revised Code, and that allegedly occurred at, I believe that's 9th and University on August 24th of 2025.
Yes, that is correct.
How do you plead to that charge, sir?
I guess guilty.
And I'll accept that guilty plea.
And
Yeah.
thank you guys for taking this month early.
You're welcome. I'm glad we were able to accommodate and not make you have to come back. Anything else that you'd like me to consider before I set the fine?
No, sir. And then how do I go about paying that, I guess, is, can I pay that like with the credit card due today?
You will. You can pay a credit or debit card, cash, check, a lot of different ways you can pay.
All right.
Any of those are possibilities.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to take a quick look at your driving record before I set the fine. It's your first ticket in our that I can see in Colorado. Is that accurate?
I believe so.
Okay. Nothing I see on your record, so I'm going to treat it as a clear record. And I'm just noticing there's a case that went into default for you for our court. So I'm going to take that up with you in a moment. We'll address that in just a minute. So our record here on this case is going to reflect that you pled guilty to the 1 point charge. The 4 point charge is dismissed. The insurance charge was already dismissed. You've agreed to take the online class. Our staff's going to give you information about that class. Normally, my fine is $125 plus 30 in court costs, but you do have the expense that you're going to be experiencing here. If I can get my cursor to go over to this. There it goes. I'm going to make the fine a little bit lower because of the fact that you're spending having some expense on the class, and because you have a good driving record. Although I am concerned about this other charge that we didn't have in place. I'm gonna talk to you about that in a minute, but the fine will be $95. There are $30 in court costs, so $125 to pay the court, and then you'll have the class to complete.
Thank you.
Can you pay the $125 today?
Yes, I can.
All right, I'm gonna send you out front. They're gonna take the payment from you. They're gonna give you information about the class. They're gonna give you a court date, but as long as we have proof that you've completed the class before that court date, you won't have to come back.
Understood.
Any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, let's take a quick look at what I saw there. So I'm gonna look at that other case.
Looks like it is closed.
2024, 3740. Let me just kind of look at the history of that one. So you got a ticket back in July of 2024.
Yeah, I think I misspoke earlier. Yes, I got a speeding ticket. I believe it was on like 28th.
Foothills Parkway and Valmont Road.
Yeah,
And so the allegation at that time was that you were speeding.
I believe I paid that ticket though.
It doesn't show payment. So let me just take a look and see what's happened here.
So I know, thinking back on it, I believe, I think mail was sent to my folks.
Yeah.
And who called me and were rather upset that I had not paid the ticket.
Okay.
Immediately, and then I believe my father sent in a check. And
He did.
I paid him.
Or someone did, because it looks like it's been paid.
Okay.
So it went into default status. I just wanted to double check that it's been closed up, but it is closed.
All right, that's what.
So there's nothing else to be done on that particular
Okay.
charge. Okay.
All right.
I wanted to look at that because I'd seen it.
Yeah, no, of course.
Oh, I'd seen the word default and I wanted to double check that it was taken care of, but it has been. So nothing else to do on that.
All right, awesome.
Send you out front. Folks will be with you to take care of that other charge.
All right, cool. Which direction do I?
To the right when you exit.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too, thank you.
So Your Honor, I had the opportunity to meet with Ms. Hernandez Vega about her case, and I do believe that she's intending on pleading guilty or no contest to the charge, and then we're recommending a $1,000 fine be suspended on the condition of no similar charges for 12 months. And this resolution we feel is appropriate, both due to financial circumstances and time constraints of Ms. Hernandez Vega. She works many, many hours, and so a community service was not really an option here.
Okay, so thank you for all of that, Mr. Reynolds. So what I'm hearing from the prosecutor, Ms. Hernandez Vega, is if you choose to give up your right to trial and plead guilty to the charge, he'd be recommending that I impose a $1,000 fine, but suspend all of that fine. You'd have $30 in court costs that you'd be required to pay. But you'd have to not go through the next 12 months without any other similar charges. Is that how you'd like to proceed?
Yes,
Now, when you plead guilty, you're giving up your right to trial on that charge. Do you understand that?
yes,
Are you doing that voluntarily? Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty? Need to speak out loud just so I have a good record. Okay. Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Do you understand this charge, which is a charge of committing an animal to unnecessary suffering? Do you understand that charge?
yeah,
Do you agree that there's evidence to support the charge? You may not agree with the actual charge, but do you agree that there's some evidence on the other side of this to support the charge?
yeah,
You're doing all this without the benefit of a lawyer to represent you. You could hire your own counsel, or you could apply for the public defender if you chose to. Do you understand that?
yes,
Are you comfortable going forward without the benefit of a lawyer?
yeah,
And the criminal law can be complicated. So do you understand that a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself?
yeah,
And did you obtain a GED or graduate from high school?
GAD,
GED. So you understand the rights that you're giving up here today.
yes,
I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead. And did you want to plead guilty or no contest to the charge?
guilty,
All right, let me accept the plea. It is to the charge of subjecting an animal to unnecessary suffering in violation of section 616 of the Boulder Revised Code allegedly occurring June 25th of 2025 at 3130 Broadway. How do you plead to that charge? I'll accept that guilty plea. I am going to take a moment to read the notes on the summons. I'm inclined to follow through with the recommendations made by the prosecutor, but I like to at least be aware of the circumstances. So I'm pulling up the police report here to read that. And I will let you know anything that I'm reading about. And if you want to comment about it, you can.
I could give a summation, Your Honor.
And I'm quickly about it. It's talking about at least an allegation that the defendant kicked a cat. So
Well,
that's what it was. I hadn't gotten
It's a
past.
complicated situation. For Mr. Hernandez Vega, the allegation is that there was an attempt to harm a hamster.
Oh,
The cat is Miss Hernandez Vega's cat.
oh,
No animals were harmed in this case. There was a dispute between Ms. Hernandez Vega and her son and her daughter. I believe that Ms. Hernandez Vega thought that her cat had been harmed, and then there was a kind of domestic conflict between her and her children. And then there's a physical confrontation between her and her children. And then during that physical confrontation, Ms. Hernandez Vega did flip over the hamster's cage. But like I said, no animals were actually harmed. And so that's what happened here. And the hamster was impounded, and I believe it's been rehomed.
No Kleenex. Thank you.
okay. Thank you for sharing that. And I can just tell by speaking with you, this is a pretty emotional circumstance for you, Ms. Hernandez Vega. And Mr. Reynolds did a good job of kind of outlining the factual circumstances. Anything else that you'd like me to know?
Yes.
Okay. So these things always concern me when there's animals involved, and obviously domestic relationships, family relationships can be very stressful. I'm hoping that you're addressing that in a way that gives you the chance to not have this type of situation arise again in the future. The city has folks, if money is tight, it wouldn't hurt to call the city of Boulder and see if there's folks who can help there's an Office of Mediation Services that helps people mediate conflicts that they have. You're not required to do that as part of this disposition. But if you're in a family conflict and you don't have the opportunity to secure private counseling for you and your family, but you want to go through something where we're going to set some boundaries on how we interact with each other, that might be a good, healthy approach. If you think you can do it on your own, that's up to you. But I often see people struggle with these things, and it's not always the end. In my own family, I've observed it many, many times with various family members who just can't seem to get along. And it results in really bad outcomes for people. Can't tell you how many times myself or my wife and I have had to interact with family members who are in custody because they've had physical conflicts with themselves. It hits every family. There's no family that doesn't have these types of issues. And so I just encourage you to find a way to make sure that you and others can be safe, including the animals that are there. Right? We want everybody to be safe. So I hope you'll give some thought to what the next step should be for you. Right now, the only thing that you're required to do is what Mr. Reynolds has indicated in the plea offer here, is to not have any other charges for a 12-month period. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to impose this large fine that he's recommended, $1,000 fine, all of it being suspended on the condition that you have no similar violations for a 12-month period. I do want you to pay the court costs, which are $30. Can you pay those today?
Not today.
Okay, I can give you some time to pay that, and I'll waive the state fee. We'll give you, is 3 weeks going to be enough time to come up with the $30 for that?
Yes.
All right, so the good news is you will not have any other obligations for us. It's just a suspended fine. We're going to give you a due date that'll be about 2 to 3 weeks out to pay the fine. You can do that online with a debit or credit card, but you can also come in. You can even mail a check to the court. Don't mail cash. But you could mail a check to the court if you wanted to do it that way, or you can come in and make the payment. But as long as you've done that before the court date that they give to you, so they're going to give you what's called a pay or appear date out front.
Okay.
That means pay the balance or appear in court and ask for more time. I always give people more time if they need it. And you could come in person if you needed more time, or you can come by Zoom video. So next step for you is just to go out front. Clerk's going to give you a setting notice for that court date. It'll give you information on where you can go online and pay the fine, or you can call and pay over the phone.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions for me? And not fine, I just make court costs. The only amount you have to pay is the $30. Okay? All right, right out front.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Well, that took a turn. Watching in this docket was like watching someone blend firm procedure with the teacher's patience, moving cases quickly, but always making sure defendants understood both the rules and the reasons behind them. The morning opened with a series of alcohol-related cases. Defendants over 21 with open container charges were offered a simple out: write a 250-word essay on what they learned, and the prosecutor would dismiss the case. Cahn explained the process clearly. Submit the essay, check email for dismissal paperwork, and avoid another trip to court unless necessary. It was accountability through reflection rather than punishment, entity, ph, subjecting animals to unnecessary suffering. The prosecutor recommended a suspended $1,000 fine with only $30 in costs, citing her financial strain and long work hours. As the police report was read, the messy reality came out. A family dispute, a hamster cage flipped, no animals actually harmed, but lingering tension at home. Cahn didn't minimize it. He accepted her plea, warned about finding healthier ways to manage conflict, and even suggested city mediation services for family disputes. His tone was firm but empathetic, reminding her that the goal was safety for her, her family, and the animals. With Mr. M. Noren possession charge, Cahn shifted gears into teacher mode. He laid out the deferred judgment requirements, restorative justice, community living class, substance use screening, and then gave a mini lecture on why the drinking age exists. He spoke candidly about brain development, decision-making, and the risks of alcohol derailing a promising college career. He even warned about the likelihood of multiple fake IDs arriving in one shipment and urged McHugh to get rid of any extras before he got caught again. It was part sentencing, part life lesson, delivered with the authority of a judge and the candor of someone who'd seen it all before. Other cases showed illity. Entity, people, Mr. Toller, 1, operations, was placed on a deferred judgment requiring him to complete 5 housing-related tasks. Cahn emphasized the importance of compliance, move the tent when told, avoid repeat charges, and waived fees based on financial hardship. It was practical justice, structured conditions tied directly to his circumstances. Finally, entity people, Mr. faced a simp P at a stop sign. Cahn offered the standard plea options, walked him through the point system, and helped him weigh fines versus long-term insurance costs. When Wesley chose the 1-point reduction with a driving class, Cahn reduced the fine further due to his clean record, balancing accountability with fairness. What tied it all together was Cahn's steady lenation and enforcement. Whether it was a hamster cage, a fake ID, or a stop sign, he treated each case as a chance to hold someone accountable while also teaching them how to avoid being back in his courtroom. No theatrics, no shortcuts, just clear rules, thoughtful guidance, and a reminder that small decisions today can shape much bigger outcomes tomorrow. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.